Hello, and welcome to the As Above, So Below podcast. My name is Andrew Swayze, and I'm sitting here with my co-host, Gunnar Egan. Today, we're going to be talking about the 5 steps to setting powerful goals. And Gunnar's going to give his intake on what he does while he takes his clients through this goal-setting process. So without further ado, Gunnar, let's go ahead and send it off. What is the first step that you do when you take your clients through this goal-setting process?
Thank you, Andrew. So today, the intention is what are the steps that I want to have and that are going to allow you to reach your powerful goals? So the first thing I encourage and I teach is evaluate where you are now and look back to where you have been. So in a way that can look like, all right, where am I? Where do I live? What are my obligations? What are all the things that I have to do for maybe my job, maybe my relationships, taking into account everything that you have going on now. And then you can look back, let's say 5 years, and go, where have I been? What have I accomplished over the last 5 years? And that's going to give us a lot of confidence moving forward. So in my idea, step 1 is evaluate where you are now and look back to where you have been, because that context allows the details to come through on what you want to build in your future. So those future ideas, those goals that we're really talking about, when we know where we've been, we know where we are now, we have a foundation of how we're going to move forward. And that is step 1. So evaluate, that's step 1. Step 2 is all about you. You're going to set a date in the future in which you want to reach those goals. So you just evaluated in step 1. Now you're going to project forward and say, by this date, by this time, maybe it's a specific year, maybe it's a specific day. For me, I like to set a lot of goals based on my birthday. So I can project out a year every birthday, but I can also look back and see where was I 1 year ago. That's a nice place to start. So setting a date, and then I want to imagine all of the possibilities, both big and small. I'm going to leave you with this quickly. We are creatures on this earth, right? Creators. I want you to be as creative as possible when imagining your future self. You have that date set. What are all of the details that are going to come up and allow you to be as creative as possible? So imagine where you're going to be, what you've accomplished, and most importantly, imagine the type of person you are going to become by reaching that goal. When we have that image in our mind, we have the language around it. This is what my future self does and values. Write that down. Know it. Look at it often, because that's going to allow us to move towards that goal with power. So just to reiterate, yeah, you have a question there?
No, I just I love it. You're doing great, Gunnar. Keep going.
Okay. So we're still in step 2. The reason I started step 2 with setting a date comes full circle here by saying, when you write down the date, you're going to start with by this day, this year, I am this. I have achieved this. We go back to that first single word in the phrase, by this date. You are allowing yourself permission to reach that goal sooner. So if I have a deadline in mind, I've given myself a strong date to work towards. I can reach that sooner by telling myself, by this date, I have completed this. I have achieved this. So step 2, set a date and imagine all the possibilities, big and small. Step 3, now that you know what your goal is, step 3 is create a list of action steps that will allow you to reach the goal. Think back to step 1. We evaluated where we've been. We know where we are now. We can start making a list of what do I have to do this week, 3 months from now, a year from now, where do I need to be to reach that ultimate goal? So for example, I like to think in 4-year periods. So 4 years, I don't know why that's so important to me, but mostly like I grew up around watching Olympic sports and understanding that you have 4 years to build towards one event. So the way we can think about that is the goal is 4 years from now. I'm going to look at 75% of the way there, meaning 3 years. Where do I have to be? What are the things I'm going to be doing and need to be doing to reach that ultimate goal? And then we follow the same pattern backwards: 75%, 50%, 25%. And then most importantly, take action steps this week. Start right now writing down those action steps to get yourself to your goal. So we just talked about what those action steps can look like and how they frame up our timeline. The most important part of this stage of creating and reaching powerful goals is to put the list of your action steps somewhere you're going to see it all the time. It's visible, it's bold, and it's obvious. If you've listened to our other podcasts, you know that we're huge on building awareness. The simplest thing you can do to build awareness is put it right in front of your face. So if you want something, put it where you're going to see it every single day and know that you can look at that, and that's going to start building accountability, which is a perfect way to go from stage 3 into stage 4 of reaching our powerful goals. Stage 4. I find this to be the most exciting one because it's all about sharing your goal and your action steps with someone else. Finding another person is going to keep you accountable. And 2, someone that believes in you as a person is only going to help you believe in your own goals. So we have step 4, sharing with one person that believes in you, holds you accountable. I want you to go into this setup of, I know what my goal is. I know what my action steps are because I've followed steps 1, 2, and 3. And now I can share confidently what the goal is, when I'm going to achieve it, and who I'm going to become when I reach that goal. So extra credit. You share your goal with one person. You ask them to keep you accountable. The extra credit activity here is set a time on your calendar with this other person to meet up in the future so you can reevaluate where you are in the process towards your goal. So for instance, if I'm making a goal for 4 years from now, I'm going to maybe set up a meeting every year. You can project out because it's important to you. It will be important to them. And you're going to hold yourself to that time to make sure you have something to present and get towards your goals. So that's step 4. Share with another person that believes in you and that will hold you accountable. So we preface this episode as 5 steps to reaching your powerful goals. We just did 1 through 4. Number 5 is taking the first action. Simple, right? If you remind yourself that progress can happen and it can happen slowly. However, the only way we make progress is taking the first move. Okay, making moves, looking at your action steps. We already put those up. We already shared it with someone. The next thing we can do is going to push us that much closer to our goal. No matter big or small, take the first action. While you're in that process of taking your action, I encourage you to notice how it feels when you accomplish that single step. What does it feel like? What did you do? Where were you? Take all of those things in because it's going to remind you of why you started and where you're going. You took that first action, you're going to take the second. And you're going to remember where you were along the way, all the way through. And most importantly, keep going. If you want this goal, this powerful goal, take the first action step and then keep going. So, setting and reaching powerful goals, 5 steps. We're looking back, we're going to evaluate where we have been, where we are now. We're going to set a time in the future that we want to achieve this. And we're going to imagine all the possibilities along the way towards reaching your specific goal. We're also going to take action steps and we're going to put them up where we can see them all the time and build that consistency. And then I believe the most important thing, have accountability, share it with someone else, because if you hide everything, you're going to hide the goal from yourself. But if you tell someone that you trust and that trusts you, you will most likely achieve that goal. And then finally, continue to take action and keep going. Keep going, keep going. You can do it if you believe in it. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Gunnar. That was awesome. I love the taking action step. Myself personally, I love goal setting, and it's easy to get caught up in that dreaming process as opposed to taking action. So we can never forget that. Thank you for that succinct and clear description there. Well, thank you guys for coming in and listening to the As Above, So Below podcast. My name is Andrew Swayze, and I'm here with Gunnar Regan. You can reach me at andrew.swayze on my Instagram handle. Gunnar, where can our listeners reach you at?
Thank you, Andrew. So if you're looking for coaching, I do this all the time, and it's very powerful. You can catch me on Instagram at Gunnar Regan, as well as at Animus Coach. Both options, you can get connected with me, and I can help you on your way to achieving what you want. So thank you again for listening. We appreciate you. As Above, So Below podcast. Peace.
Adios.